Morning guys, Tonk here. I'm just out here at the old girl. I'm going to fire her up and I'm going to put this little, hopefully it's the right one, this little impeller in me 5.8 horsepower auxiliary today. So the old girl, what is she, 885,000. She's not original, like I keep saying. She's had a 200,000 or 300,000 k's ago. No, 300 and something thousand k's ago. Well, 300,000 k's ago. She was getting hot, towing the boat, 110 degrees. I think I've told the story before. Going up the Cape with the tinny. And a little patch of pineapples there, slowly getting a few. They need a chip too. One's on. They've got 2 pineapples on actually. Go around here and hook this boat up. Yeah, anyway, she was getting hot, so I tried different radiators, a couple of different radiators over a couple of years, and then I was convinced, talking to different mechanics and that, and they sort of convinced me that she'd had a cracked head. So I pulled the head up, bought a new head. I thought, oh well, seeing I'm going to take the head off, I might as well get a rebuild kit. So I got new rings and bearings for her, and just backing down. I haven't got, as you can see, got no reverse camera, so it might take me 3 or 4 times to get her on. And when I pulled the head off, as soon as I pulled the head off, I just knew there was nothing wrong with it, the old head. So it sort of cost $2,000 for the new head and the rebuild kit. Delivered. So I thought, oh well, seeing I bought it, I might as well put it on. And that comes with head studs and everything, and gaskets, and anyway, long story short, it might take me 5 or 6 times to back in here and get this right, but I don't care, got nothing else to do. Anyway, the old girl, what I was talking about now. That's my fault with this channel, as I keep wandering off and talk about several different things and never finish a story about one of them. I'll try and finish one story at least for once in my life. So yeah, the head turned up Friday afternoon. I pulled the old head off on the transport from SMS in Brisbane, and I had the head off. I honed the bore, pulled the pistons out, dropped the sump off. I had the pistons out, honed the bore, cleaned the pistons, put new rings on the pistons, put it all back together, put new bearings in the bottom end, had the head back on, and I started her up Sunday morning, and she hasn't stopped since. So basically 24 hours and I had her running. Yeah, so you can if you have to. You got the, and that was just me. Oh, there you go. And only just got to go forward a bit. It wasn't 6 times, it was twice. So yeah, the old girl, she's done, since that new head's gone on her, and the one thing, never noticed one bit of power difference. She still pulls the same, still uses the same amount of fuel, whereas before, I might have overshot her then. But before, at about 5,000 k, she'd start to burn oil. Look at that. I went forward a foot. You wouldn't bloody read about it. But now, I can do 10,000 k's in it, no worries at all with the new rings in her, and she doesn't burn oil. So, but no difference in power, she just doesn't burn oil. Like I said, it might be 5 or 6 times there yet before I get it right. Yeah, I just got to hook the boat on. I just want to hook this boat on. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's hard to judge it, eh? And I'm going to tow it over here to the shed, and I'm going to put my auxiliary on it. Auxiliary on the back of the frame, and on the back of the tinny, and it's easy to work on. I'm going to pull the leg off the little auxiliary and put a new water pump in it. I'll let this down here till it's just about close. And then I'll know she's only got to go further forward about a couple of inches. I'm not worried. I buggerise around, do this a few times, and I eventually get it. So yeah, she's had the other day you would have seen I just done the water pump. That was like 330,000 that had done this truck. 300,000 since it's had a water pump. 300, yeah. Oh, look at that, gone too far. I tell you, hard to judge distance when you're crawling forwards in bloody first gear, low range or back and back. You're just generally got to look out the side. There, see, that's oh, that's close. I just come back a bit more. There. And I find, I mean, I should have got my son or someone to come down and just got to, that might be her. I'll try it this time. There you go, that must be getting close to 6. I said a 6 originally. This is my old shed, my brother-in-law's boat in here, heap of solar panels, my old mower, she's stuffed. There, she'll go on now. Pull her across a bit. Oh, I gotta unlock that. I use a lock to lock it on, as well as that holds that tab in place so it doesn't jump off on the road. So, and it's locked on there too. I mean, it's only for honest thieves. I hit that with a hammer, but it just, all the corrugated roads I'll go on that, and even it just stops that jumping off. I just put that on with a lock through the hole. She's locked on there, just like that. I know then I've got it on there. That's just part of my procedure for hooking her up. You sort of got to, I always like to do this sort of stuff for myself. And if someone does help me, I check it 2 or 3 times. I even check my own work 2 or 3 times when I'm going up the highway. Okay. I should one day get in and tell you a bit of my buddy's story. A lot of the new people on here wouldn't know the amount of years I was pro fishing and farming at the same time. And yeah, no, I was pro fishing. Had 2 or 3 different boats over the years. I should do that up one day and do a story on it, a video on it. But it doesn't matter. All right, I'll come up here. There's the old lawn. I just mowed it yesterday. She's looking good. The new mower. I'll just back this up to the shed. Just go back and check it here in a minute and see if I'm not too far back. Oh yeah, I'll come over a bit further, go a bit higher. My son will edit a bit of this out if it's boring, but it's just I find it easier because I've got no engine stand and for the outboard tinny, the auxiliary. I've got 2 flopping out auxiliaries. If I had my time over again, I got a 15 on that tinny there. I would have just kept that as the auxiliary on the big boat now and sold the other one I bought through BCF years ago. Paid about $800 or $900. Okay. if you haven't seen it before, this was part of the boat. I'll show you if I can find it. No, you mightn't be able to find it, but there's a piece like that. That piece there goes down and it's cut out. It's cut out, and my mate Ryan Cokie Iron, he plated that up, and then over in here he beefed it all up in across there, and that's where the auxiliary sits. And then this other piece has got little bits of U-bits welded on here, and it bolts in and puts in there. But I find it's I leave it out and I store the outboard. I got a clamp. I'll find where that is. You've probably seen it, but it sits over there, and the outboard goes in there, in that spot. And I might dig those couple of things out and show you. Got 2 new tyres for the flopping cruiser go on the back, and these tyres here on the back of the cruiser, because the trailer for some reason just heels and toes the tyres just a little bit, so I put them onto the back of the cruiser because they're all the same 265 75 16s and the same rims, a little bit of different offset. I run them off the trailer on the cruiser, and it squares them up, levels them out again. So these will go onto the trailer. The 2 new ones will go on the back of the cruiser, and then the 2 best ones out of the 3 will go back onto the drive, onto the steer of the car. Oh, sorry, not the steer. That's because I drove trucks for 2 or 3 years too. Everything's I can talk trucks as well, but yeah. Yeah, so you got a mix with me. You got a mix of farming, trucking, and pro fishing. Yeah. Like I said, I was pro fishing off and on. I bought my first boat. Hopefully my son, he'll put a photo up. My first boat when I was 15 from Ron Glass Marine in Bundaberg. $4,950. It was a 16'6" cruise craft with a 90 Chrysler on it. And my dad and my brother said, "Whoa, shivers, we got a lovely boat." So we took it that same year. Oh, there was a little bit of a mishap in there. I left home there 15, went up to Bundaberg and tried to go pro fishing. Anyways, the shit hit the fan there, and I come home. So then we said, oh well, we towed it up to Fraser, and we had 3 months up at Waddy Point chasing tuskfish and red throat just on the inside the garden. And we used to put the wireless aerial over Waddy and go out for 20 minutes on the clock, and then just put the sea selk out and start drifting and catching bloody heaps Venus tuskfish or parrot. We'd sell them. Yeah, this is the did that for about 3 months through the fisherman's access license, and then various years then I got my tickets, and later on and had bigger boats, and yeah, so off and on for about 35 years I was proing, and but about 16-18 years straight I proed. I did nothing else but proed fish. Righto. And then as well as farming, my wife and I grew beans when I was a young fella. Left school at 15, grew beans at home. Then I left home, went to Gympie for a couple of years, grew beans up there and tried to buy a property. Went broke there. Well, didn't go broke, but didn't make any money. So I come home and then met up with my partner, who became my wife, and then we started growing beans and bananas, and ended up with about 16 acres of bananas, and then started having kids, and I was pro fishing and had bananas, and yeah, so that's that side of why I chase a few fish and muck around, and I'm not too bad at it. Just comes down to hours on the water. Righto, like I said, I was just going to get that little outboard. Okay, you're on the tripod. Okay, I got to have a look around here. I'm just starting to put a bit of gear out here, so when I go away I can you can see it. That's that bracket I was telling you about. It sits like that against the side of the boat. The outboard comes in with the wing nuts, it slides underneath there, and that bolts, and that sits it in the boat, and that screws in there with 50mm batten screw, stainless steel, and I put Sikaflex down here. I'll cut that off, I'll re-sicker that, and that glues up and becomes one. And I'll put it out here. Somewhere here I've got that other thing I was telling you that bolts in, but I can't find it at the moment. Now I'm hoping this has got a bit of two-stroke in it. I'll check it before I do. Righto, there she is. You might see it to lift her up. That's the little 5.8 Parsun. I see you on and now before you poo-hoo me, correct me if I'm wrong, but Parsun under contract make Parsun, Sixon, and they make Mercury, they make Tohatsu. I'm not sure if they make Yamaha, but all the small two-stroke motors now come out of Parsun factories. In fact, I see a well-known YouTuber the other day, Something Life, I won't say the full name, they had one of these on a rubber ducky, and because they're Mercury sponsored, they couldn't be seen running some cheap Chinese heap of shit. They had this duct taped over. I knew exactly what sort of motor it was because I got one, and it was on their outboard, and it had duct tape over these. I've had this I forget now, quite a few years, but it just needs a new impeller in it, so she goes up on here, see? Hey, I'll just screw her up on there. Like I don't have it there all the time. I just take it off and sit it inside the boat, and because it's light enough, if the big outboard breaks down, like I'll always try and get the big outboard going. Touch wood in the 20 years, in its 11 or 12 years I've owned it, in the 20 years of its life, I haven't heard of it playing up. But you never say never, you just never know what happens. Righto, I got to remember how this comes out of here. One bolt there and one up in there, looks like it, and then in the back of here, there you can't see it, I'll just shift you around, but in the back of there you got to take that bung out. I'll take it out and show you. Now I'm not ashamed to say that's been this thing wouldn't have done 10 hours from new. I don't think it's even been run in. I've run it in, sorry, it's been run in and done a little bit, but to be honest, it's been a beautiful motor because I've never had to use it. And that's only because the big motor's been such a good motor. Oh, here we go. It's probably the same on a lot of outboards, but you can see that there. It goes up. I'm not sure if that's... Won't go into reverse. What's going on there? There we go. She comes down and you undo that bolt there, and when you undo the leg, there's two stainless steel wires to do with the gearbox. Now it would have been better if you had two screws, would have been great, but you haven't, so you undo him and then one slides out. If you had another one over here and it stayed clamped onto the whichever it was, but yeah, you got the one, so when you go to get that back together, I'll probably pull that off up there and I lay it on a mattress on the ground here and I do it, because it's it's a curse. You got to get a screwdriver in the back of here and you got to hold it up, then you got to tighten it. I tell you, it's another one of them ones I think you might have seen me when I was talking about. I wish I could hit it with a hammer. But it's only brand new, so okay, I'll get a couple of spanners, I'll undo him, I'll just loosen that one off too, see what he's like. Normally when I do this sort of thing it starts pouring rain, but let's see how we go with it. You just never know, it might yet. Sorry if you can't see me, but I'll pop out there in a minute and you'll be sick of me in a minute. Righto, undo this sucker a little bit, just a bit. Now I can't remember, is it 10mm? Yeah, I'll have to get a socket. They're not a socket, a spanner. They're just sort of made so you, and don't forget this is Chinese knocked off Yamaha. So a relative of mine went to China one time on a trade delegation. He got talking to him and he had a look around and he said to him, "What's the go?" And they said, "If you're silly enough to send it over, something over here to get it built, we recognise no," in China they recognise no patent, so if this motor was patented in another breed and you send it over there to get them to make it, they'll do it for you, but there's no, they don't reckon, and then they just steal the ideas off it and make it themselves for a quarter of the price. That's what he said years ago. Why he wouldn't deal with them. But anyway, that's life. You know, nearly everything comes out of there. We'll see what happens with Mr. Trump and his. See how he goes. See when it pulls him into gear and see what happens. Oops, that's a 12 too. Oh no, I've got a 10. Yeah, no, it's just a matter of poking along and be in no hurry and make sure you find every bolt that could bolt it together. What? Is it 13? Could be. Always something throws a spanner in the works just when you think you've got it worked out. Right. No, the yeah, so when I was sort of saying these things in me, for just anybody that knows me, they know these stories because they've lived with me and know them all and been around. But for the new people out there who signed up for this rodeo, it's not my first rodeo. I've been camping all my life. I first went up the Cape 1982 in my own four-wheel drive. You know, so I'm not making stuff up when I tell you what I do and where I go and why I'm doing it. I think I might have said, I'm not sure, this year will be 23 trips up the Cape in 42 or 3 years. So, and I'm just getting getting things ready to go again now in a month or so in May. As soon as the road looks like it's drying out, I'm meeting some chaps up there, which you would have heard me talk about. So I've just got to go through the boat trailer now, and after I do this and check the wheel bearings and not actually have to do anything to them, but just see if they're tight enough. I've already pulled the plates off and seen there was no water in them after last trip before I come back. Been running around. Righto. Okay, I might just have to undo that a little bit. This is a cow setup, I tell you. Whoever invented it needs a good smack behind the bloody ear. Compared to the... But, having said that, it might be the way they are, so I better take that back. I don't know. But yeah, you just got to poke along with it. Trouble is, it all falls to bits, and if that thing down there falls in, you're buggered. There we go. She's off. Okay. Now it's just a matter of undoing this. And hopefully, I got a sneaking suspicion that that's not the right impeller. Oh, let's take it back. It sits on the shaft the same. But you undo these. Not hard to do. And I only got the just the impeller. I didn't worry about a kit because, like I said, this motor hasn't done any work. And the only reason I'm changing it is because I thought the impeller might be getting losing its memory, and the blades can snap off, clog everything up. Because this had to be 4 or 5 years old, might even be 6 or 8 years old. Who knows how long this was sitting on the shelf? Because I bought it from BCF. and they were getting out of them and only keeping them. That's because they're not making any 2-strokes. New ones apparently. And then they weren't stocking them, so they just went in exclusively 4-strokes with these. And yeah, so it's so yeah, she's just yeah, just unscrew these little suckers, 4 of them around there. I don't know what that bit of stainless for, but this might just stop this thing distorting. When you put it all back together, she's got to line up with that. There's a tube there, and you make sure you put you're gonna feel that, mate. See, that little thing can stick up inside. You make sure that goes back in there. Yeah, that little sucker, that tube. And if any of these things don't quite line up properly, well, that's the reason she don't pump quite as good. Normally what I do is I find a vise. I might even go and do that yet. Put that in there, there him up. Not too tight. There you go. Just a cloth in that, stop the mark on the leg. Yeah, that's a lot better. But yeah, that's what you're doing. It's pulling these bolts. Oh, and they're tight little suckers too. Yeah, anyway, this here pops up, comes off, and there's your pump. See how bent she? I'll pop her out. She's not far off buggered, I reckon. She's been in there that long. Look at her. See, she's starting to lose her memory. I'm glad I did her now. and by the look of her, she's the one. And I got it, the new one, for $21 or $2, that little impeller. How good. Now I won't worry about changing any of that. That's all good. I'll leave that. I'll just put a bit of grease on here. We'll see the cup, the little cup on it is like brand new because it's just done no work. Alright, I'll put the new one on. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to put it. I better check it, but see, she's got the little slot that goes through, or goes straight through. Some of them on the, like on the Yamaha, on this one, it ends just there, so you can only put it down one way over the top of it. Looks like it's got plenty of grease on it. The good thing about having the hole at the top, you can sort of line it up with it, because it's got the little, there you go, straight on. Look, she turns the shaft too. That's all she's got to do. Now years ago I would have said probably not to do this, but today's greases, this is the grease gun and it's just multi-purpose grease. If you're really purist, you'd use rubber grease. As soon as I do this, I'm going to be pumping this, starting this motor up. And you put the grease inside that cap like that. And why is that, you say, Craig, John? Well, that gives that impeller lubrication before it starts, so it's got lubrication before it starts pumping. Otherwise, you put nothing on them. Sometimes they don't pump air, water straight away. They suck air and they can burn them out. I did one on a little 15 horse Jono one time, and I buggered it. Yeah, I don't mind admitting it. I stuffed it properly, because I forgot to put the grease around the impeller. Now the only trouble with this thing is, you start it over there, see, you come over here like, and you start over here and you start pushing down and turning. Oh no, got it. And then it goes in, it flops in, and you just keep turning it round, and at the same time you put him in and push him down. Now hopefully, and there's no way of telling, that should stay together. But you got to, the fins are up like that, so you come onto the cup, and as you turn, it gets them all going the one way, the fins on the water pump, and then eventually they turn enough that they pop inside the rotor cap, and then as you push down, that holds them, and then with others it just goes straight on they're right. But this one you had a couple of things to put together. Make sure, because that's just a bit of copper pipe, you put grease all around that, stop it corroding. I'll pump a bit more grease here. There won't be too many out there ever have to do a two-stroke, because there so many people have got four strokes now, but some of them might be a bit the same. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that these are the same motor as the Yamaha, Tohatsu and Mercury of this size, from the 4 upwards I've been told, and maybe even the 2s are made by Parsun under contract for the others. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I've been told. And then when I see them in the flesh on the back of boats and stuff and look at them, you look at the same way it's made and the way it's put together, they look identical, eh? Now just tighten her up. Now this one should be good for, see, I'll leave him in the hot sun, and I'll take him with me, and he can be the spare now. But I just wanted to make sure that I put another one in it. I pulled it out last year and it looked fine, and I tight-assed it and didn't replace it then because it was $80 and you had to buy the whole thing. But this year, because they've been another year around, or it might have been 2 years, but I think it was last year, you can get that just the impeller now, because there's quite a few of them around, enough to make it worthwhile. I'm just selling the impeller by itself. See, on this motor, because it's only 5.8 on a 5 metre boat, I had to trim with the angle rider. I measured out, and I started about 4 or 5 mil. I'd take that off and go for a run, and she might have picked up a little bit. I think I ended up taking 10 or 12 or 13 mil off this propeller. It saves you buying another prop. And I just trimmed it down until I'd say she's making about half to 3/4 revs at least. She mightn't quite get the full revs sitting there, but I don't want to run her at that, so it's just so the motor wasn't under full load. She was just sort of revving along a bit steadier when she's on the back if you break down. And when I'm normally away, I'll put her in the water and take her for a run for an hour or so. Go up the bloody creek with it, put it on and give it a good run. And this little motor, she's got a top tank and it runs off that tank there, which makes it good. But I always carry 2 litres of whatever amount of fuel I got with me. I take the same amount in 2 straight, so I can make it up. Because if I'm 40 or 50 k's up a river or away, I know I'm going to be using maybe a litre a kilometre with this little motor to get home, whereas this is 3 litres a kilometre when she's going. So worst case scenario, I just make sure the main thing is you head to land, get in as quick as you can, and then you try to head for home. That way she breaks down, at least you can get out and walk, or pull her up on the beach and let the tide go out, do something. But worst case scenario, most of the time now, I'm only ever out 10 k's max, 5, 6, 8 k's. I sort of don't stretch myself too much these days. Although when I was up to Kimberley last year, we were out 45 k's, but we were really only a few k's off the islands. But we were sort of up amongst the islands there. If you've never been up to McGowan's or Honeymoon Bay or Pago, do yourself a favour and go up there one year and have a look around. It's beautiful. Long way to go. You're not going to pull fish one after the other. Oh, you might do. I mean, like I said, there's probably better fishing here on the east coast than most of it, but when you've done that for 35 years, you just want to have a look around and have a check out other spots. Well, I've been fishing, I'm 61 this year, been fishing all my life, so from about 4 or 5 first sort of times, isn't it? When you can pull a fish in on the beach yourself, wind a reel in. I never thought I'd ever get sick of it, but I do get a bit. Just haven't got the right sort of boat to be crossing bars, and you want self-draining decks. And well, when you're younger, it doesn't worry you. When you get older, these things you think of them then. You don't think of them when you're younger. Now I've got to get that together, and I think last time I had to lay it on the ground to get it all to work. So I'll go and get a mattress. Hey. Well, that worked well. Make sure when you put them back in, you put a heap of grease around that. Because years ago, this used to seize up in the bottom of the motor, but these are all stainless shafts and that now. Just a matter of getting that in the right spot to line up with that thing. See, this thing's an absolute cow to try and get back on. Oh yeah, it can't fall off. So that's one thing good about it. Okay. I'm going to try and I've got to find a pair along those pliers. I'm just thinking then maybe I could cut like a bit of foam and put up in here, like a little foam block. Right, I don't know if you'll see what I'm doing here. I'll bring you in a bit closer. I've got to try and get that up in a position. Hold it there a bit better. That thing there that holds the shaft in, and hold it in position and shift that. Might have to slide this down a bit, so that's sort of over there, so it doesn't catch on anything. So he's got to come up like that. Now maybe I need a pair of vice grips or something. Alright, I'll just see. I've done it before and I've got to work it out again. But you've got to get everything in line. And at the same time you've got to line up to make sure the... right, put a bit of grease on that in there. You can go to trouble and fit marine grease if you want. But as long as you grease it. Now this has got to go in the right spot so he can come up at an angle like that. I think he goes in there. Oh, you mungle. Now this is where he's got. I've got to sit him up here. Now I can't remember how I did it last time. Stick down in there. Like I said, I was thinking that foam block might be the go. Just pull him out. Is he going to go around that way? That might be how he goes. Like that. Might have to sit this end up on a rag here. There's a little bit of science going on here. You'll have to... Oh, see, because that motor's on an angle, it may have to be a little bit different. I'm talking to myself here, guys. This is very tricky, sort of. It's actually a pain in the backside. Maybe I should have left it on the back of the boat till I got it together. I'll try that. I'll put this back up on here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little grommet that goes in here, right there. Well, this shaft down there has got to go up through here, then it's got to pop out this hole at the top here. What a piece of work that is. And then, yeah, you got to get it through up in here. I don't know if I can show you. Up in there, it's got to go right up in there and pop out that. You mightn't see up in there, but there's a top hole. It's got to go in that thing there. Got to line everything else up as well as get it up through that. Oh my God. Whoever thinks of these things, oh, this is about the time you want to hit them with a lump of wood. Okay. As if it's hard enough, not hard enough to get it to line up with that other thing, then you got to get it up through that other. I can remember it now. It's no why I didn't do it again. I've been mucking around with this thing for hours getting it done one other day. This is going to have grease on it or something for sure. But I'm sorry about the footage and the swearing. It all sort of just got to come together nicely. Well, actually I might put you over here so you can see. that can spread out a bit more. Oh, I've got to try and get it up in here. Then I've got to get it out at top. So I'm not sure. I think that's the way it's got to go. So it goes in there. Holy hell. She slipped in. Trouble is, you leave something and then walk away, his legs liable to fall on the ground. Oh, it's a complicated thing. I don't know who invented it. I think this thing takes a fair bit of pulling to get it in the gear, and I can't remember how hard it is. Okay. That's neutral, so that might help. Because that's in neutral. Yeah, see, like I said, I gotta learn it all again. I don't know, sorry guys, I haven't got a clue at the moment. Oh, don't lie, I want to... I can't believe that, it just went straight in! Oh, I cannot believe that! I was just whinging and I didn't have a clue, and straight in it went. Oh, I do not believe it. So, what happens now if I tighten that? Oh, that is brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. Okay. Put a bit of grease on this grommet and put him in while I think about it. Ah, it just goes to show, just don't get up, just keep persistent, trying different angles. Be different if you did this stuff every day of the week. Thing is to get that little grommet back in there now. He's a tough little sucker. You got to work him in there. He's not going to be easy either. Lots of grease on him. Just push on him. He's in. Spin him around a bit. Oh, I can't believe that. Now, the biggest trouble is, what gear is that in? No, I just nipped that up. It's going to rain. And I've got everything out in the open. Typical for me. Now, what you got to do, so you got to make sure before you lock this up, that little thing there, that screw and holes it, you got to make sure that's in neutral, and this lever up here is in neutral. And see the pin comes into the gearbox here and changes it. You can just push it here. So what I'm going to do is tighten this up now. And hopefully then she'll select forward and reverse gear. If it doesn't, you'll hear a bloodthirsty curdle and a big spanner will bash something. No. I mean, I swore a bit before because there's a big, look at this up here, the big cloud of rain just wanting to rip me. But I mean, that's not its fault, it's just doing what it does. But it just annoyed me. And I'm just trying to be gentle here and do this up. hopefully this will go into gear now. And it's the right gear. Oh, look at that. Even got neutral. I can tighten that up. Oh yeah. Look at that, neutral. A gear. Perfect. Okay. Get a bit of grease and wiping all around that. And then I've got to put this grommet back on. Get the grease gun. Shove it in there and just pump a bit of grease, even though that's stainless steel. Oh, what's going on there? Oh yeah, she didn't quite disappear. Right, perfect. The grease around that. I might as well give her a little grease here on the pivot while she's here. Another one up here. Even though there's been grease heaps of times. Now, I've got to get a drum of water. Oh, I've got to put a bolt back up in here. Yeah, getting a bit ahead of myself. I know you probably didn't see all that, but I mean 90% of you will never do a 5.8 horsepower Parsun. So it doesn't really matter, but it's just, I just filmed it in case someone up there did want one. Hello, this is raining again. Put this camera back in the shed. Oh, look at me lovely shed. Righto, shutting this down. Listen to that rain. It's just about gone now. Blimey. Always the way. Nearly got it done, but I just got to put that rubber grommet back in. Now I'm going to put her in a bottle of water, thing of water, and see if she runs and pumps. I seen it coming. Well, shite happens. Yeah, like I was saying, be slipping up Common Point this trip, and hopefully Penny's open by the time that trip's over, and I'll head into Penny. If not, I might go into Port Stewart for a look. That's if they've still got camp in there. Might take a couple of crab pots up this year. If I can't get in there, I might come down on the Annie Creek. But we'll see. But yeah, just I've got the leg all bolted back on. Getting off that subject, sorry, getting back onto the outboard. I've got the leg all bolted on. I just got to put that big rubber grommet in and put her in some water and fire her up. It's raining. It's just started raining here a bit. Alright, sorry about that. I'll just leave it with you. Okay, with the power of editing. Yeah. She goes. And she comes. I've had it run quite a lot. Just let them run out of fuel. I should have a better stand, but it's all I got. Give it a 5-10 minute run. There she goes. She had a good run there. Okay. Done. Yeah. I'm happy with that. I wasn't so happy a while ago when I was swearing like a trooper, but anyway. Alright, I'll turn this around and shut you down.